Money sitting in a bank feels safe, but safety alone rarely creates real wealth. Rich people use banks for spending and emergencies, not for growing their fortune. Keeping too much cash in a bank means your money stays almost unchanged. Meanwhile, inflation quietly reduces the buying power of your savings every year. The wealthy understand that idle money slowly loses value over time. Instead, they move extra money into investments that have long-term growth potential. Assets like stocks and index funds give money the chance to multiply. Every dollar invested becomes a tool that can generate more wealth. The goal is not just to save money, but to make money work. Banks protect your cash, but investments are designed to build wealth. This is why rich people separate savings from long-term investing. They keep only what they need for short-term expenses and emergencies. The rest is invested into productive assets that can grow for decades. Small investments made consistently often outperform large amounts left in savings. Time is one of the greatest advantages in successful investing. The earlier money starts growing, the greater the long-term results. Patience allows compound growth to create extraordinary financial outcomes. The wealthy focus on ownership because ownership creates lasting value. They understand that money should always have a purpose and a job. That is why rich people never leave all their money sitting in banks. The biggest difference between rich and poor is often where their money is placed. Wealthy people understand that every dollar should produce more dollars over time. They invest regularly even when markets move up or down. Consistency matters far more than trying to predict the perfect moment. Most people wait for the right time, while investors simply get started. Building wealth is a process that rewards discipline more than intelligence. Small monthly investments can become life-changing after many years. Compound growth becomes stronger as each year passes by. Money invested today can work for decades without stopping. Rich people think about long-term results instead of short-term comfort. They avoid letting large amounts of cash sit without a purpose. Every investment becomes another step toward financial independence. Owning assets creates opportunities that saving alone cannot provide. The wealthy understand that risk can be managed through diversification. They spread investments across different assets to protect their future. Financial freedom comes from owning income-producing investments. Over time, investment returns become larger than the original contributions. The rich allow time to do the heavy lifting for their money. Their strategy is simple: invest consistently, stay patient, and keep learning. That mindset is what separates wealth builders from ordinary savers. Years later, the difference between saving and investing becomes impossible to ignore. Investment returns begin growing faster than ordinary bank interest. The power of compound growth starts creating wealth almost automatically. Money invested years ago continues producing value every single day. The wealthy stay patient because they trust the long-term process. They know short-term market changes rarely affect long-term success. Every investment adds another brick to their financial foundation. Owning assets creates income even while they are sleeping. Their portfolio keeps growing because they continue investing consistently. The focus is always on building wealth instead of showing wealth. Rich people buy productive assets before buying luxury items. Financial freedom comes from owning things that generate income. As investments grow, financial stress slowly begins to disappear. Their money works 24 hours a day without taking a break. Every year, the gap between investors and savers becomes even larger. The secret is not earning more, but making every dollar productive. Patient investors eventually see results that seem impossible at first. Time transforms small investments into meaningful financial security. The wealthy understand that money should always be working somewhere. That is why investing becomes the foundation of lasting wealth. Looking back, the wealthy realize their greatest investment was starting early. Every small investment helped build a future that once seemed impossible. Their success came from patience rather than chasing quick profits. Money continued growing because they stayed consistent through every market cycle. The biggest rewards came to those who refused to quit investing. Wealth grows quietly long before anyone notices the results. The rich understand that ownership creates opportunities cash alone never can. Their assets continue generating income without constant effort. Financial freedom arrives because money begins working harder than people do. Every year invested adds more strength to the power of compounding. The wealthy know that protecting money is important, but growing it matters more. Banks remain useful, but they are not the final destination for wealth. Long-term investing transforms ordinary income into extraordinary financial security. Simple habits repeated for decades create life-changing financial results. Most people save money, but wealthy people build productive assets. The goal is not to collect cash, but to own things that increase in value. Real wealth comes from making smart decisions again and again. The journey to financial freedom begins when money starts working for you. This is the mindset that separates ordinary savers from successful investors. That is why rich people never keep all their money sitting in banks.